Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back to Townscaper. The kingdom is looking beautiful. We have ourselves the castle here, and I've made a little marker to where areas are going to be connected now. Anytime there's a green tower next to a pathway, that means it's going to lead to different areas in this city that we're building in this really beautiful city builder. If you guys want to see more of this game, make sure you click, tab, blow up, and destroy that like button to let me know you'd like to see more of Townscaper. And thanks as always for supporting. We're going to build here today in the Old Town District that we're going to start on, I guess, the remaining islands. I've actually laid out the landscape by just basically clicking around on the ground and creating like flat land with the grid in order to build our city in the future. There's one more area I want to build in next, which is the harbor. So if you guys want to see the harbor build as well, make sure you share with a friend and watch the playlist too to see everything develop if this is your first time watching the series. In the first one we built that town you just saw, and then the second one the castle, and I want to also build here where the harbor will be. A little smaller area, I think, but a lot more detailed and interesting because we have our little port set up and a few areas to build towers and other things, and of course the pathway that leads back into the town that you just saw, and a little building there is just kind of a placeholder for what I wanted to do. Well, let's go back to the old world then, the big O city, and we'll see if we can add on to that. I also want to build some big castles and things, but I figured we would just relax a little bit, and I've been seeing some of your creations too, a lot of you sending them to me on Twitter, so if you have any thing you want to share, please do share on Twitter. I just thought this would be a good idea too. I saw a few people actually building cool towers like this, and then connecting them with pathways like that across the map to like other areas and stuff inside of castles and things like that. So that's something I want to build in the future too, although it looks a little strange to see all the windows, but it looks like a nice skyway there. But let's go ahead and continue to build onto our existing area. Oh, another thing I wanted to make mention of too is that we can build long tunnels like this by just continuously connecting stuff like that. It looks really nice, right? I really like the way that these long tunnels are going to look. If we build them longer and longer, it's going to really, I think, turn out to be nice, except for that's a little weird. There we go. So we can build long tunnels like that, too, so we can build buildings that are connected that way. This looks really nice, too. Wow, actually, that's a happy little accident. I think I like that building, although maybe not there. So let's get cracking. We have built several buildings here of neutral tones. I really like the neutral tones in this game. I would even consider this bright orange almost to be more like a, well, like a typical brick building. Well, let's go ahead and continue to build onto our city. And the layout is complete. I think we're only going to build now in areas that have all the gray. So let's go ahead and start building onto those and see what we can do. And eventually have ourselves a happy little neighborhood. Let's see. Well, we've got some edges here that are going to be interesting to build in. So I'm going to try to build maybe a larger building here. And see what we can do about this. Maybe make it a larger building. Oh, I love the stairwells and stuff too. There we go. Can we add a roof onto this building? Oh, it's kind of weird there. I don't want it to be any larger than the town hall. I just want there to be a roof on top of this. Maybe I can add something like this. There we go. That's kind of what I wanted. But I don't want there to be a walkway up there. I don't know exactly how to get rid of that all of a sudden. Let's see what we can do to try to keep the roof on top. There's rules to this game, of course. I see. So it must only be allowed to be too wide. I see. So we might be able to connect to a tower, maybe? Oh, there we go. Maybe I can use my little tower thing that I wanted to do. Ah, there we go. Perfect. And let's add a little... There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. Wow, very strange-looking building, but definitely welcome in the neighborhood. That's going to be a keeper. Jeez, I love how every one of these buildings could be an art piece based on what you build. It's kind of a... It's really interesting. It's a little RNG. It's like, oh, what kind of landscape am I going to get? How are things going to look based on the landscape around me? And there's no symmetry, really. Well, there is, but there isn't at the same time. You can try to build what looks to be like a 3x3 building, but it also doesn't look like it either at the same time. Okay, those are two nice buildings there tucked into the corner. I think I'm going to build something here and then leave the rest of the pathway open. Maybe I could build a clock tower of some sort. Ooh, that would look nice in the town, though this looks a little small. Maybe I could add something a little extra to this building. That right there would be a nice little thing to add. Although there's no door to it. I guess you can't really get perfect. A lot of the times there is RNG. Actually, there is a door there as to where things will pop up too. So like benches, for example, are kind of randomly popping up. I like that the little white brick building district over here. And let's make on this side... Oh, I love how they all have their own different styles. It's really nice. I kind of want to make arches now. Can I make an arch across here? I'm getting so many different ideas and wants to build. Can we build something like that? What if we built a tower here? Oh, that's even more beautiful. That is gorgeous. And I love the little balcony there. Even better. Every time you touch stuff in this game, it just becomes even better. Every time you add a little something or other to it, it just becomes more and more gorgeous each time. Oh, yep, I like that. I like the stairs coming up to the side. Beautiful. I really want that to maintain the stairwell there, but I wish it were a flat platform so that way everyone could come up here and see it as like a public viewing platform. But I guess we'll just have to make do with what we have. So we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll call that good. Okay, let's move on to a new area. I like the open area here. I like the open areas here. I like the walkway there. I think we could do something on this side. I think what we want to do is a whole different color here. Something maybe a little darker like the City Hall. It's a little further away, so it might not be as noticeable. But I really like using these neutral tones most, in this town at least. It'll be kind of cool to use different colors for more important buildings. Maybe, for example, blue for some sort of an official royal building or post office or hospital, whatever. Of course, this is a totally made-up world that, you know, has its own laws and whatnot, its own kingdom, so it's kind of cool to see what we can come up with. If we have a pathway here... this will look a little bit too much like this district if we do it like that. So let's build like a larger scale government building here, maybe? Or like a larger apartment building? Although if we build the center of this building, it will probably create that roof that I don't want to get. Oh, yeah. These two buildings... Oh, this actually looks a little smaller than that building. Not only because of the colors, but also because... yeah, it actually is shorter too because of the towers and other things like that. What if we bring these up? Let's bring these up a little bit. And these are made of brick inside because of the connection via the tunnels, the little archways. So what if we deleted here and here and made archways through that building? There, I think that looks a little different. Yeah, okay, I think that fits nicely. Cool. What can we do at the end there? Any sort of building? No, I think it's just a nice viewing platform for everyone as well. Now, this is going to be a large road down here, so I figure we can put a few buildings here on this side. So maybe we can put like a small set of buildings here. Oh, I wish that round tower would have stayed. I really like the round towers. Really look nice because it could be anything from a bell tower to a clock tower to really anything. And I love the fact that this makes a little walkway there. So I think we have ourselves a winner. I don't want things to be too tight here. So let's try building. No, let's try building a connection. There we go. And just some more buildings along the coast. Although I want the canals to be visible at most areas, but some sort of a long building like this actually looks somewhat welcoming. It almost looks like an old town wall, perhaps. Yeah, okay. Maybe that used to be the old entrance to the town until they made this canal or whatever. Whatever story, whatever we want to do, we can do. We can also delete this here and build it there instead, which also looks nice. And we could probably build around that. Oh, yeah, here we go. We could kind of make it like a narrow street, and then maybe it'll open up. Ah, just like this. Perfect. So let's add some buildings here. If we build another... Nope, don't like that as much. I don't like the fact that they're the same. And I don't like that kind of an archway there. But I do like this. This partial... Oh, that's neat. That's very unique there. Or we could deal... Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Everything's about kind of testing out and deciding what and how you want things to look. Actually, those towers like that looks really nice, though I feel they should be a little taller. Yes, that is a winner. I like that. Any taller than that? Let's give that a shot. A little too tall, I'd say. A little too tall. Let's go ahead and shorten that, and there we go. We have ourselves another winner. Nice open area for the road. I want it to be wide to accommodate carts and stuff that might eventually go to the castle or whatnot. Of course, the kingdom, the castle traffic probably won't be as much because, you know, it's the castle. There's probably a lot of people going there, but not as much as like the marketplace, not as much as the harbor. And the harbor entrance will be down here too, so there are several ways to get back up to the top. All right, let's see. I think we're gonna try. Let's see. We have white, beige. What other neutral tone could we use? Maybe we could. What about a maroon type of? Oh, no, that's a little bit too much. Purple, maybe. Yeah, it's certainly looking like a purple color. Let's try yellow. And that's a little too... Well, you know what? That's not as bad. Yeah. I don't want to get too colorful, but also I want more options. But it seems like it'll force us. We could also mix buildings together if we want to. We could do like a partially mixed building. Is this the color we built over there with? Yeah, that might actually be a better color for here. It's a nice thing that we've built this in advance, by the way. The fact that we've built a kind of islands out before we started. This is a little different. I hadn't done this before. And it kind of feels a little more realistic in building these towns and stuff because... Oh, actually, maybe we could build a elevated building here. Yeah, what if we put the buildings up top? Well, it's kind of weird that it's building into that, but I want to get some stairwells here. But yeah, like I was mentioning, it's a really just beautiful looking town no matter what. The fact that there's like elevated buildings... Oh, that looks really cool. Wow. Yeah, the fact that there's buildings being elevated now on top of already existing islands is kind of unique compared to just click, click. And I don't know. It's just a little different building this way than I did previously. I like that. We're going to keep that there. Except it needs to be wider. There we go. So a couple of pathways up and around. And we'll get rid of that other one there. Don't know how I feel about this, though. I don't like any of that at all. But that's better. Okay, that's good. Strange building here. Don't like the steel supports. But perhaps we'll say it's a building being restored. Not really a big fan of the steel, but you might be able to ignore it a little bit. Looks a little bland, though. And if we build a tower, that will change the design. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Okay, let's try to goof around with this a little bit. Well, that looks nice. Maybe one archway is enough. Okay, that looks good. Alright, on to the next one. Let's build around this area. We're really starting to fill a lot of this space, and I like leaving a little extra room to it. Kind of makes the town look a little bit more modern, if you will. What can we put along here? I think some of the times just leaving buildings alone is good. Or open spaces. If we leave those alone, they look nice. Ah, there we go. Perfect. That looks good. Okay. I think there might be a way to replace colors on buildings, too. I think if you shift-click or something, maybe there's a way to... that makes a really strange-looking piece there. Ah, okay. So it does kind of separate them into different buildings. That's kind of cool. Okay. We need some more stuff down here. I think we're going to continue with this color. This is looking really good so far. So we'll continue on this way. And we'll go ahead and build it all the way down here. Oh, that's going to be a really weird looking building. Wow, I actually like that. It's a weird building. Oh, there's a little table there at the end? Neat. What if we build it out into the docks? Yeah, it'll try to build it with this, Wow, that's a really weird building. I wish I could make some sort of an observation deck here out of wood. But that just doesn't seem to flow correctly. Let's try around here. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, wow, what a weird shaped building. But I admire it. For whatever reason, I like it. Although I don't like the continuous towers. Maybe we could try something different here. The chimneys are all facing different ways. Almost looks like a row house. Don't like that as much, though. I do like this one. And maybe one there. No matter what, the chimneys still keep coming up that way. What if we try this? Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave that as is. Good. Alright, another building complete. A lot of open space here, but again, these are roads all the way to the town hall and all the way to the kingdom. And of course, a lot of the traffic needs to be open around the canals. So now we can build something big here. I think we're going to really build something large in these two other areas. So let's try, we've tried these buildings before. We've done the gray, we've done the white. Let's go back to this really weird orange color. These buildings are really cool looking here. Let's try to do something that has a garden. And let's do an elevated garden at that. Yes, let's do another elevated building. The town hall doesn't have to be the only elevated building, so let's try our first elevated looking building outside the castle, which you didn't get to see before. I was just experimenting, but I know better now to build. Otherwise, I had built just basically islands, which aren't too interesting, since you can already see the grid on display. When you click on grid, it'll show you where everything is. Okay, let's build a second story to whatever this might be. And fill that all in. Okay. And we'll put a wall around this. Ooh, this might be a little tight, but we'll see. Some sort of a fortress, an old King's Keep, or some sort of a building that was of importance. Ah, this is kind of looking nice. Ooh, that's cool. All right. Kind of looks a little bit like that building, but actually quite different. Quite different. And it actually has a garden around it. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's build a small little doorway here. No, I don't like that as much. Well, I guess, you know, to be honest, you can't really get the types of things that you want sometimes facing the correct direction. But this game is all about, it's kind of like life. Sometimes you just have to hope for the best and try to make it happen by just making an attempt. And that seems to look pretty good. I like that. Let's go with another small building here, maybe a guardhouse that's been converted to a home. A very small home with a very small garden. Let's take that away. And I think we have ourselves a winner there. Okay, more open space. I think we'll just leave this open. A lot of the open space really makes the building look a little bit more official with some areas out front. Alright, this turned out really cool. I don't think I could put anything here that would really look different. Could put a small tower. Actually, I like that. Okay, let's do something crazy next. We have this red building here. And that's kind of like, I don't know why that's red, but it just kind of is a nice focal point for the whole town. So let's try something over here. If we do, we could go with the darker materials again. And we could make like a former prison, something. Maybe a light blue. A lot of these buildings look a little too nice, I'd say. But these could look like fishermen's homes or something along the edge. We could do something like this. I like that, but I feel like two big buildings that are like this next to each other will take away from each other. These two kind of go together nicely. I like the things with arches here. I want to try something, maybe a building that has an arch on the second. I'm feeling some sort of arches right now. Let's go back to the white buildings and try something on the second floor. So if we build like this, we can actually build quite a large building here. I wonder if we could build something that has arches all the way around. Well, it's going to be somewhat of a zigzag pattern there. Okay. I can't wait to move on to the harbor area next. Feels like we're unlocking levels, but I've already designed them. Now imagine in the future, I want to see somebody building like a mega mall. I think I've already seen people building high-rises where they've used blue buildings to represent windows in a skyscraper, which I find to be just crazily unique. It's neat to see people playing outside the rules, which there are no rules. It seems cool, like people are breaking the rules. And yet there are none. And that makes it the most amount of fun, I think. Oh, this is neat. I like the walkway coming up the side over here. I built that by mistake. Not really mistake, but... Ooh, that's going to block that from coming through. Okay, well, we still have something out of that. Okay. I want to do something with arches. We're going to get some arches going. A big arch. I believe I'm feeling some McDonald's right now. That's why. Now we could probably work on some long continuous arch in the center of this building. Ooh, this building's looking a little too different, I think. Well, wait a minute. No, I don't know. Let's keep going. Although I don't like the The lack of roofs here. There we go. That's what I want. Good. Give it to me. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. Okay, now we see the rules. Now we're all... Oh, I guess this is going to have to be our secret. No one else is going to know these arches are here. There's a garden underneath. Haha. Nice. Weird building that we have. Now I want to be able to see inside there, though, and see that there's a... Ah, look at that. So we are actually able to see inside there. Aha. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So a walkway that goes up what seems to... Oh, my good... Do you see that? There's an observation post there. That's so cool. I did not expect to see that. How can we... Yes, exactly what I want. Oh, perfect. You can actually walk to the pathway on the left that we built and on the right. It's a very small detail, but it is there. And that walks over to the other side. Perfect. We built arches upon arches. What a weird building we've built. Observation deck on the top. Oh, we had that little... There we go. The little spyglass there. I want that back. Oh, that's so cool. I don't know what else I can build here without kind of blocking the spyglass's ability to peek out there. Geez, I don't know what this building was. You can tell me what you think this may have been once long ago. You can come up with an idea. Neat. I just wanted to show off some arches that we can do in the maybe an old train station or something. It actually looks like it could house trains with as long as it is, or maybe it once did. Beautiful. All right, I think that's pretty much it for this town, although I will say it's a pretty bland town in my opinion, but that's because there's a lot of roadways and such. And I think if we wanted to fill up the map in its entirety, we just keep adding on, adding on, adding on. So what we do is build an island here. Anywhere where there's space, we just basically fill it in like we had before and continue to build a lot of smaller buildings. And the buildings that I built here are more larger structures. I seem to be more interested with building things like these because they can have more complexity to them. Arches, stairwells, towers, second floors. Building homes is a little more simple, as they're just kind of more of a square, diamond, or rectangular shape, and they're usually just single floor, though it adds a great detail to see large amounts of homes and such. Makes it really nice. Let's go back to the Fisherman's Wharf now, or the harbor, and the way people will get there is down at the bottom of the canal, so basically this leads over this way, and maybe it doesn't sync up perfectly, but it's kind of what I'm thinking of. So this will be the farthest south of the town. The town you just saw would be the middle, and the little castle would be the farthest northern position. And you can see that beautiful archway there, too, that stretches on forever. That's really nice there. That looks really nice. All right. Well, that's where I'm going to end it for today, everyone. Come back tomorrow where we will build some... maybe we'll try to do a lot of little fisherman homes here and try to make little interconnected buildings with lots of gardens and towers, too, for things like, oh, I don't know, for lookouts, lighthouses, whatnot. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You guys are great. Thank you for leaving a like on the way out, and I hope to see you tomorrow for our final episode. I don't know how much more I can do in this without an economy or whatnot, but it doesn't need that. And Townscaper is a game I think you should buy right now. I'll see you guys soon.